Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are we doing? Fantastic. All right, come on. You got to do better than that, man. It's second Saturday of the year, right? Second Saturday?
Yes.
Second Saturday of the year. So, putting a lot of thought into routines, right? And our routines are our makeups and lead to where we are right now. And the question becomes, is your routine the right fit? Has anyone ever analyzed their routine? Is it taking the time to, great, write it out. Exactly what you do the moment you wake up in the morning, what happens next after that, when you get to midday, when you get to the evening. Do yourself a favor. Take out a pen and paper, not now, when you're done here, and write out your routine. And I promise you, you're gonna find things that you're possibly happy with and unhappy with. And if we start to change those routines and those steps along the way, you're gonna wind up with different results. Raise your hand if you're 100% happy with the way things are going so far this year for you. Raise your hand. One person. Okay? So that would mean, and that's a great honest answer. That would mean that all of us have to get that roadmap out. You know, write out that routine. Write out what you're currently doing. You have to reflect upon it. You have to analyze it. You have to figure out if it's giving you your expected results or is it giving you the results of your routine. And if you're not happy, that means it's not a good routine. And what are some of the things you should try to fit into your routine?
Exercise.
What are some of the things you should try to fit into your routine? Is that something you would fit in?
Meditation.
Exercise, meditation, what else? Brushing your teeth.
That's just automatic.
Automatic. You don't need it.
But maybe it's something he struggles with. Maybe it's something he struggles with. Right? Stretching. Who's ever seen an animal get up?
Yeah.
None of you have seen animals get up? What's the first thing the animal does? Stretches immediately as soon as they get up. So we have exercise, meditation, stretching, Anthony Thompson brushing his teeth. What else? What else? What's your routine like? I see you every morning. You walk in, you beeline to your desk, right? You open up your CRM and you look to see what your day.
Messages, check my messages.
Check your messages. David,
Check my hopes.
that's your routine?
I mean, no, but
What are some of the things that should be in your routine?
wake up earlier.
What?
Wake up earlier.
Wake up earlier? Okay, should have an earlier start. Jazz,
Oh God, take a shower.
take a shower.
Yo, that's what.
She's on Anthony Thompson's routine, right? She said,
Yeah.
you guys are struggling with very, very basic things.
Take a shower.
Steve, what should be included in your routine?
That's my routine.
Eat breakfast.
Eat breakfast.
Oh yeah.
What kind of breakfast, Steve?
Eggs.
Eggs? What else?
Bacon.
That's it, just eggs. Why just eggs, Steve?
Protein.
Protein. All right, so eat a healthy breakfast, right? Not frosted flakes, 2 bananas, and a cup of orange juice. That's not a good. Eggs, protein, right? Healthy breakfast. What else? Imran,
Exercise.
how about watch TV?
Only nighttime.
Nighttime. Imran has a problem with watching TV. What show are you watching today?
I don't know. I just go through the channel. No, yesterday.
Oh, you're one of them? You can't find anything, you just keep scrolling?
It's a plug. You don't
Wait,
have to show.
when you're scrolling, do you like, all right, that looks like something good. Let me see if there's something better. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Let me see if there's something better. You one of those? That's me. If I ever grab the remote, we ain't watching shit. We're gonna watch a whole lot, a little bit of somethings. And then by the time I get back to the movie I want to watch, it's over. Better luck next time. Ricardo.
I actually look at the traffic that's coming into my personal website. That's something that I do.
Your personal website. What's your personal website name?
I really don't want to tell anyone, but it's pick up and drop off of laundry. I kind of
Gotcha.
like to do
It's not like one of those 900 numbers, call me.
Yeah, that's what he has.
It's actually really professional. Everything is voice recorded.
All right, so in your routine, you have something some type of business outside of here.
Yeah, and I check to see the traffic that's coming in because I have Google Ads campaigns going on and stuff like that. So I check to see, you know, which area people looking into, what product they're really looking into, and review and make some decisions.
Okay,
Call
Troy.
tell the truth. You get up and think about jazz.
No, that's actually true as well.
The guy you hear in the background, his name is Kerwin Glasgow. Okay, he's like behind the scenes, the almighty Oz. That's it. Right? Also known as Titus. That was the old school jail name.
And Sean. Don't forget Sean.
And Sean, yeah, right.
Yo, go.
Yeah, we're putting you on blast. We want to keep talking about people back there. Go ahead, we're gonna put you on blast. Kerwin's afraid of the camera, by the way. Troy,
Review the day before.
you reflect on the day before in your routine, like in the morning, afternoon, or night? Early morning. Okay, good. Victor, check your, so another outside of here business, right? Awesome.
What I have in my routine.
In your routine, yes. Try to make it something we haven't heard before. Don't tell me about brushing teeth and taking showers.
Family time.
Family time.
That's my routine.
Good routine. Larry.
Take time for a little prayer, meditation.
That's all.
Okay, meditation, prayer, a little bit of thanking, right? Giving thanks. Gratitude is an important step of a routine. Who did we get? Sangeets.
Think about food.
Wow, that's a low blow.
That's a low blow.
Yeah, right?
And she's always the one asking me, what's for lunch? What's for
Exactly.
lunch?
See, you got so now you need a new eating partner. Maybe you need to eat with Steve now.
I do.
Eggs in the morning, right?
Oh,
Protein.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I always wake up like late. I always hit my snooze button too late. Like, I always.
Do you regret that?
I do.
You do.
I do.
Okay. So one of the things that you have to change in your routine. What is that? Baron Honda out there. Ooh, he's swapping a car. We left the play frame. So waking up earlier. So your routine starts late. Something you're not happy with.
Yeah.
Good. Phil.
Yeah.
Part of my new routine has been loading up KP to get cars, so we don't have to deal with things that matter.
Okay. So your routine is you're thinking about this place, right? Okay. All right. I mean, listen.
Less
That's an
stress.
important part of your
Right.
daily routine, right?
Less stress.
So, and why do you do that?
Why do I do that? Because it's a lot easier if we have a bunch of cars in KP, obviously, than in Staten Island.
Right. Because getting a car logistically is a nightmare, right? So let's plan for, that's a good routine. Thank you.
Thanks.
Amy,
Coffee.
coffee is in her routine.
See?
It really is.
Coffee's part of my routine too. Where the freak is Peterson?
Oh my God.
Where's my coffee? Come on over here. Come on. Go sit down. Sit next to Chris. Come on. Troy, you're part of your routine.
Oh, so just visualize and see myself as a better version of me. Try to make it
When do you do that?
As soon as I wake up.
As soon as you wake up. So you do some morning reflecting. Kerwin, what's part of your routine?
Thank God. See another day.
Yeah. Giving thanks that you have that opportunity to move forward. I think that's a super important one, and it ties into reflecting all that stuff. I mean, the fact that you woke up today is a fucking blessing, right? Excuse my language. The fact that you're able to move forward. You know, a lot of people didn't wake up this morning. So that opportunity is a great opportunity. And it's also an opportunity to do what you didn't do yesterday, right? Wake up earlier, meditate, brush your goddamn teeth, take a shower, right? Check your CRM, eat your eggs because you ran out. I mean, you got to really think about, and we all have similar routines, it sounds like. We all do a little bit of it. But I want you to write it all down and write down actually how long these things take in your routine. Because the number one complaint people have about not going to the gym, not being more spiritual, not being more productive is what? Time. The most precious commodity in the world. So if you can write out all of what you do in your routine and put little timestamps next to it, you're gonna find there's so much more to the day and the night. because you have to find balance for every single thing that you guys just spoke about. You have to find time for it. But the amount of time we actually spend doing it is not a whole day. So there's a lot of time left to fill in the gaps. Not picking on Sangeeta, but if Sangeeta woke up early in the morning, how much more could she get accomplished before she starts her normal routine? You know, if you're a riser at 7 o'clock in the morning, what happens if you got up an hour earlier? How much more can you do? You know, I know that, you know, if I roll out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning at 6, it's like, all right, I gotta feed the dogs. I gotta walk the dogs. I gotta prepare for my live. I gotta get to the gym, right? I gotta do all of these things, and by 7:40, 7:45, I gotta be out of the house to take my daughter to school. But if I gave myself another hour in the morning, how much more could I fit into that time? And you really have to start thinking about managing your time. So I did a video early on in the week that said we are all managers. And we are all managers. We manage our thoughts, we manage our goals, we manage our level of action. And that's really just the steps we take to get ourselves completed for that day. And if there's anything missing out of that day, are you taking some time in that evening to write out those things for the next day? Or eliminate what's bullshit. And sometimes you have to call that stuff out as bullshit. Like, you know, I go run around and say, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna run a marathon, or I'm gonna get to the gym, or I'm gonna start eating healthy, and then 8 minutes later I got a pizza in my mouth. You know? These are just lies. If I can't commit to never eating pizza, let me not even say it. Because the truth is, I can't give up pizza. Not because I can't, but because I don't want to. I love pizza. You agree? I love freaking pizza. So does Phil, right? Every time you say we're gonna eat something, we're gonna order something, all right, let's get some pizza. Right? No, not anymore. Lately he's been on a salad kick. He's been doing a great job, by the way. We haven't had pizza in 3 days. Doing really good.
Pizza today?
No. I'm just kidding. So taking some time to write out your routine is important. A week and a half ago, we did an exercise with everyone. Don't worry about him, it's okay. So, taking a week and a half ago, we spent some time upstairs and we talked about a lot. I learned a lot of things about you. I only got 3 of those letters back, you know, which is little not disappointing for me, but disappointing to you, because the whole purpose of that exercise is for you guys to speak to your future self. If you could say anything to you in December of 2019, what would it be? That's your opportunity. So what has to happen in that situation is you got to start looking in the mirror and asking yourselves, what are you prepared to do for yourself? You know, because there's not always going to be someone out there trying to jumpstart you, trying to kick you in the ass, trying to push you, trying to hold you accountable. You know, and we went through this week in the past couple days. We're not making enough phone calls. We're not setting enough appointments. But meanwhile, there's about 2 hours a day where you hear plenty of laughing and plenty of joking and the conversations that take place. And then you have the people that just come in here and work, you know, and they're like, their routine is different. So you got to look at yourself in the mirror, figure out what your routine is, analyze it, and fix it, you know? Anthony, why'd you come here today? To work and make money. What do you have to do in order to make money? What do you actually have to do in order to make money? Is that it? If you show up, you're guaranteed money?
That's the first step. But then,
Okay, what? God, you're Anthony, you got like a, what are you like? You're talking in 2 places right now. Come on.
Show up, grab a customer, talk to a customer, sell a car, deliver the car.
That's it? That's it?
Lock.
Try this today. Try this today, okay? exchange your product and your services for money. All I want you to do is demonstrate a vehicle and ask for the sale, right? And be kind, be considerate, be thoughtful, provide their wants and needs, right? Don't make money. Don't grab a customer. It's got to be a shift in the mindset. The approach is just show up. Doesn't happen that way. There are tons of people that just show up. They show up for food stamps. They show up for financial aid. They show up for free food, right? They show up because they're supposed to be here. They what? They show up at unemployment. We can't just show up. We have to have a purpose when we show up. What is my goal, my specific goal? And we don't do enough of that. We don't do enough of writing that stuff out, because you got to take what's in here, put it on paper, so you can now follow those simple steps to get yourself your expected results. If you don't do that, you can't control the outcome. You can't control the outcome. You're going to get the results of the universe. And the universe is not going to give you what you want, and it's not going to give you what you need. You can't fix your problems with that thought process. You can't. Because you haven't established what they are. And what your problem is, you haven't written it down. You haven't anchored it and made it part of your routine. You agree with that, right, Dex?
100%.
You know, the other day, Dexter was having difficulty. We all had the same difficulties, right? But he's the first person to bring it to the attention that when you do that click to call, he then can't complete his activity. I mean, the fact that he does, I know he does that on a day-to-day basis. I know that's part of his routine. Dexter is a lion, right? And then you have, this is how I think of this showroom, right? So if this were the safari, seriously, if this were the safari, Dexter and Steve and Larry are the lions, right? That kind of just walk around. Well, Steve's not that quiet, but they walk around and they get their meals. And then in the safari, you have the hyenas. Phil, go over there. Right? And then you have the gazelles who don't know any better, right? That are running around helping out the lions with a free meal. The safari, think about those things, guys. Think about why you're here. Think about your purpose. Don't just show up. Come in here and be effective. You know, it should burn you up. If you did less than 15 cars last month, if you did less than 15 cars in a month, your hair's got to be on fire. If you're bald, I don't know, do something with some chest hair or something, right? Your hair should be on fire. Like, man, I did less than 15 cars, on fire 30 cars this month. How do you do that? Write it out. When you set a goal, you have to think about your potential obstacles. Then you have to create solutions for those obstacles. Then you have to take those obstacles and actually face them. Not by showing up, by taking that action attitude. So, can we all agree to write out our routine? Raise your hand. All right? Write it out, review it, analyze it, project it forward through your goals and targets, and just execute whatever's on there. And whatever's not for you, just get rid of it. Figure out what is. But if it's not for you, it's not for you because you think you're not good at it. So you got to take that weakness and turn it into a strength. Okay? You agree? Anything you need? CRM you want to talk about?
No, not yet.
Why? Is everybody doing everything properly?
Did we fix the,
I turned it off.
We turned off the feature, right, until they fix it out. So let me just tell you the growing pains, right? So it seems like every dealer has the same issues with e-leads. It takes a while to get the system to play nice. So it's gonna take a while. I don't know if it's better than what we had, but it's what we have, and we have to figure out how to make it work for us. I can tell you the first thing that you should be doing when you pull up your CRM every single day is looking at your calendar and looking at what calls and what emails have to be sent out. And just do them. It's really, you know, if you just show up on that phone call and say hello, you know what I realize when we negotiate, right? And we have a customer and we let them go, we think that that's it. We kind of let it go. Well, if the customer decides that they're going to come to my price, they're going to call me back. But we have to chase that and not chase it like always look to do better. Sometimes all it takes is, hey, Chris, I know you were here yesterday. I just wanted to touch base with you, see if I can invite you back today to finalize the deal. That simple phone call will give you what you need. The customer might say, yeah, I thought about it, but I still need you to do better. Come on down, we'll go for another test drive, and I'll ask the best I can do. Right? But we don't have to go back to negotiating. We've already negotiated. Trust me, we let them out at a number we couldn't do. We're already there. You know? We don't have to ask the obvious. The only thing we want to know is if they bought a car or not. And if they didn't, we want to invite you back. That's it. You don't have to say anything else. We just got out of a meeting. We need to sell 50 more cars today. Whatever you need to use to get them back. Exchange your product and services for their money. Simple. You do the right thing. You have a great product. Why shouldn't they buy? They're not getting a better price anywhere else. We all buy the cars from the same place for the same price. Would you agree? That's it. It's a simple exchange. And answer their calls. Address their concerns. And you guys do a great job at that. And we do a horrible job at that. Right? We do. Come on. The amount of calls and the amount of little issues and all the checks and this and how many times you got to send something. It's frustrating, right? Make a copy. Start sending emails. Copy Adam. I don't give a shit, right? No, he'll get it. He'll get it. Because there's certain things that you and I can't fix. So stop seeing the issue, find a workaround, right? And get the right people involved. So we'll write out our routines. Promise? Anything?
But when we call, like CRM, I try to clear my daily routine thing. When I hit call, it straight go from my cell phone.
You gotta switch the number. You
I
gotta
switch
switch the
my
phone
number, it still don't go through.
If it goes through his cell phone, it still records in the CRM.
I know, but the thing is, I want from my desk to use it, not my cell phone.
Dexter was able to switch between two numbers, right?
Yes.
No, you can choose it, but I choose desk number, it still was not going through. And when I finish phone call, I hit complete.
Do you have call forwarding set up on your phone?
My phone.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
no,
go,
no,
that's
no,
fine.
no,
No?
no. Desk phone, no.
Sure?
My phone.
All right, we gotta check that.
No, because I have two numbers there, my cell phone is there too.
Does everybody know how to open up a ticket with e-leads?
What?
The ability to do that? Who said they opened up a ticket with e-leads yesterday? No, not got a ticket.
Like a
Who
support
opened up?
ticket.
Like a support ticket. You're having an issue, you send a ticket.
I send it to
Support.
IT.
IT.
Oh, IT is the only place?
I just call that number at the top. It'll take anybody's call.
Phil,
Yep.
what are some of the things that they can do to help you?
Definitely a lot of guys are still coming up without the stock number. That's the first thing. Attach your car.
Okay,
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Because this whole inventory system is crazy. You go on the website, it tells you
Forget the
one
website.
thing.
Don't go
You
on
go
the
on
website.
e-leads, it tells you it's stock, but it's really at the factory, and then it doesn't give you the correct color. And then you go on Honda website, and it gives you a totally different thing.
All right.
What
so,
Honda website?
Honda.
IN is the only thing you should be using outside of your showroom. So I would assume if it's not on the floor, it's somewhere in Staten Island, right? That kind of like, or maybe KP. But you go into IN, you'll see all the cars we have in stock. You can pick the color, You'll also see if there's a name on it. Okay, so the other night we had a truck picking up a car to send to North Carolina, and we delivered that car. Meanwhile, it was held in IN, and it was also held in our system. So we're not checking those things, right? That should be the first flag.
But it
Like-
makes it a little bit more simple, because when you're sitting with a customer, you get them on the numbers. Now is the clock starts, so now you have to find a car before they start thinking
IN
insurance.
is your Bible.
But
IN is your Bible.
To go back to initially, when you're just coming up for a quote, it's good to have the car that you're selling attached, but if, let's say you're just working a number, you don't need to have,
No, but
you could just pick one to run a quote. Once we
yeah,
get the
but
numbers,
once
we'll
you
figure
get-
out the color and
Once you get to
everything.
that, sometimes you don't even need to go to the desk. The customer is already committed, so you just want to make everything at your desk, and then when you bring it to the front, it's not, you're not going back and
If you need a
forth.
car, if you need a solid car, IN is the best place to
But let me
shop.
just tell you one other thing. So, my screen, you take the screen and you throw it to the right. You take the other screen and you throw it to the left. You can. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. Right? You do is you look at IN, cars available. You take that VIN, you put it into eLeads. It pulls up the stock number. You attach that car. You'll also see at that point, when you look for that VIN number, it's going to show you that car, and it's going to show you all the other ones you have exactly like it. At that point, if I see a different location, like, oh shit, I happen to have one of these on the showroom floor, I'll change it to that. You know, so the simplest process, go to IN, find the car, take the VIN, put it in eLeads, shows you that car, and then shows you what else. I could then see location. If it says Staten Island, Art to Kill, whatever it is, I know it's over there. You know, and if it's pink, there's a deal being worked on it. You know that?
Yep.
If it's pink, there's a deal being worked on it. That doesn't mean it's sold, but there's a deal being worked on it. So let's say it's the only one. I'd walk up to Phil, Troy, myself. I'd say, look, this car, the car that's attached looks like it was being worked. Can you check to see if the car's available? And then what we have to do for each other, right, is simple process. Put our name on it when we sell it in IN, and put a sold sign on the car. Like, Peterson's car didn't have a sold sign. Dexter's working the car the whole day. You know, at least if he sees a sold sign, he's gonna walk over, hey Peterson, did you sell this car? Is it going out? I see it's dated 3 days ago. You know, but if we don't help each other, it just becomes the same chaos that we keep experiencing. So we as a team have to work together to kind of circumvent our issues. All right, so please use IN as the Bible, get that VIN, paste it in, and then work from there.
But have something that even if you can't find it, have a car attached just so we can work a quote. A Civic LX, then if you make a deal, we'll find the blue one or the red one or whatever it is. But at least have something.
The other thing is, if you're in that situation, Sharika, like you're, you know, like, hey, look, I got this. This is going to happen. This deal, right? The only thing that'll be pending is if the deal can fly credit-wise, or you know, put all the information in. Go to the insurance tab, put in the insurance, the current insurance. You know, can I see a copy of your license, copy of your insurance, copy of your registration? I have all that stuff in there. Now, if the customer has to go get something to eat, at least I have their insurance card. I can call the insurance while they're away, and if they want to speak to the customer, they're going to call them. You know, but you got that insurance information. That's going to expedite the process in there. It's going to expedite the process in there, and check our VIN numbers. You know, do your VIN inquiry. Dexter brings me a VIN inquiry on every deal. He brings it to me, like not just a sheet. He gives me the sheet to sign with what's on the back is the actual VIN inquiry. You know, to sell a car with an open recall, it's just a nightmare for all of us.
But, okay, I feel like, okay, the car's being PDI, if we're the last person to touch it, if it's going to service and they see that the car has a recall, why can't they just do it instead of us now?
Can I
not
ask
to
you one
call my
question?
customer?
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna answer that, right? With allegedly, not another car is going to be inspected with an open recall. So what they're doing now is when we put the car on the log, they're now running that VIN before the car gets here. They're gonna know what cars need recalls and do them, right? Is it going to work 100% of the time? Why it hasn't been done already? But look who you have. So you have Miles here, right? After hours. When you print an inspection, it prints the second page is the recall. So we know every single car going out has a recall once we inspect it. But
it was already inspected on the floor. You happen to deliver it,
I'm gonna tell you the cars on the floor, you probably have a few with open recalls.
and now
So run them.
last Saturday I delivered a Civic. I didn't even get my survey not to call them and tell them, listen, I sold you a car with open recall. Like, how is that gonna look?
Did you do the VIN verification?
Yeah, but I just feel like that's just like so much.
Sharika, the minute we start leaving our livelihood in somebody else's hand, it's when
I
things get
understand,
messed
but
up.
I feel like if it's on the floor, our one job is to sell and make money. And we can't have cars that doesn't have titles. We can't have cars with open recalls. Like, it's just making your job 10 times worse.
Without, we cannot sell cars, they put in a showroom floor used car.
Yeah, and then you gotta wait 3 weeks for
So what's the fix?
Don't sell
You
that
have to
car.
say
No.
something.
What's the fix?
Say something.
What's the fix?
I can't get the title. I'm not gonna-
What's the fix?
But there's no way to know it doesn't until it goes there. So you spend
Well,
8 hours
there
on the
is,
car.
there
and you're
is.
Like, oh, you can't build this out.
There is, when we pull inventory, the managers know if there's a title. So every title we have, they have a title number in the system.
But nobody tells us. Like, we don't have access to
Ask the question. If you ask Troy if the car has a title, he knows where to look. I know where to look. Phil knows where to look. You gotta ask these questions. You gotta set up your own nets.
Yeah, but
We don't work in a perfect environment.
I know we don't, because when I sell a car, the first thing I look for is the inspection. If it says October, November, I leave that car alone. We'll go on to another vehicle. So I already know about the inspection fee. Now the title thing is just like a curveball.
VIN verification.
And then verification.
It all
So you
happens.
have to do it before you
All
write
happens in
the-
IN. So here's now this becomes my process. I find a car in IN, it's available in e-leads. Let me just copy the VIN verification. I got no recall, car's available, blah, 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 blah. I can deliver, same thing you're going through. If you see an inspection outdated, you just move on to the next one. If that's what you do to make it work, that works. But if you see a car on the floor, like, look, someone should go take inventory right now.
I did that. But
We should
nobody
all.
says
If
anything.
everybody here walked out and
It's
grabbed
like
2
5
VIN numbers,
cars with outdated inspection. I do
not
that
inspections.
Every single day.
I'm talking about recalls.
Oh.
Right now, to make sure all these cars have recalls done,
So
we should
it's-
all grab 2 VIN numbers and run them. And if they're not, get them off the floor because it's gonna come a time where you deliver the car, and if it's not done, you're gonna have all the same issues you have right now. Right? The minute we think it's somebody else's job, that's when we get screwed up.
But then people get paid for this, and they don't do it.
Sharika, so all of these same people just got a $2 an hour raise, right?
We gotta get one?
Do you think they're going to do more work for it?
No, but I don't mind helping.
Let me project you forward for a second. Now, we have 5 people making $2 more an hour. I promise you, they're going to fire one to offset the cost, so you're gonna have 4 people doing the same job, right?
I forgot this is recorded.
Right?
It's recorded.
What is that?
We got everything on recording.
I promise you. Come on.
Well, I tried.
You're not new to this world.
I know how to
You
do
know?
it.
You're not new to this world.
But I just didn't know Civics had a recall until I got
So how many employees did we start
Well, I
with?
didn't know.
What are we gonna end up with? Right? Come on, but you gotta think about the business. Like, how can the business afford to just keep paying, right? When we're seeing less traffic, when we're selling less cars, we're servicing less customers. And everyone who here wants to just throw their arms up and say, well, everything is so messed up and this is not done and they should do this and everyone's doing the same thing. At what point do we get together? We have to, right? So it falls back on us, unfortunately. Anything else? Steve, need anything? Did you get the bill down? Come on. Anything? F and I. Come on. You had some issues yesterday. We need to hear some.
Short and simple and sweet. Everybody just has to start paying attention and help each other out. Communication is key. And I think if everyone communicates, like what you were saying, and I hear what Sharika is saying, and she's 100% right about the cars, but at the end of the day, if we help each other, I could say there's few people, without saying names, everyone knows who they are, that will help everyone. And if everyone gets off that bandwagon of not helping each other, we can get across with that. We had the same issue with the system that you guys are having. F&I and the desk had that. You know, we had a meeting 2 weeks ago. After we had that meeting, the desk and F&I is working hand in hand with the system. No, the world is not perfect. We just got to make it work for us. Instead of overworking yourself, make the system work for you. So, like Chris said, at the end of the day, check the car. When you know you sell it, you check one of the 3, and then at that point, we'll know exactly what's going on. The time frame with deliveries, just so that it worked yesterday, and Jasmine's a prime example. Tell your customer you have to have insurance before you come in. I understand, Mr. Customer, if something doesn't work, you can cancel the insurance. But make sure you have it. Why? Because you'll be here anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour waiting for billing. The DMV does not work for Honda alone, it works for 5 different stores, technically 6 when you consider used cars. So at the end of the day, just so that you know and your customer know and you don't ruin your survey, you let the customer know up front. If you do not have insurance in hand, you are going to be here for an hour to an hour and a half.
3 hours.
You'll see how quick they'll get insurance. Jasmine had a guy yesterday, refused to get her insurance. When she told him that, how quick the insurance came over?